Hi, Dr. Kachmann. Welcome to the Diabetes Show. Just about 30 minutes. I'm going to tell you about what diabetes is all about. And if you have type 2, I want you to get rid of it. And none of this, I accept it, I'll take these pills, the medications. No. I want to get rid of it. 90% chance we get it done. So let's get a little background here. Type 1 diabetes is where we don't make any insulin, and you need to take a shot. But if you eat the proper way, which I would teach you, you won't need much insulin. And if you don't take much insulin, you'll have very few side effects and probably live to be 100. There are things you can do now where people eat anything they want to and then increase their insulin dose. They may live a little bit longer, but they're going to still have complications and die at a younger age. Okay. Type 2 diabetes is a different type of diabetes where we have too much insulin. Our body will secrete it for a period of time, but eventually it runs out, and you need to take it in shots. And there is but what about the road to diabetes? Most people who have type 2 diabetes got it. It's not genetic. Rarely is it genetic. It's the type of food you're eating. Mm-hmm. And I would teach it to you how to get rid of it. The easiest way, yes, I don't want you to accept diabetes. I want you to get rid of it. That's my main mission when I teach health, how to people get rid of diabetes. A very good book, because you need some books, something to read, some references. I've been excited about this for years, so I wrote Rudy's War on Diabetes. I declared, it's preventable, stoppable, reversible the majority of the time. Yes. So I wrote this book many, many years ago. And now you can actually go onto YouTube, Rudy Kachmann, Diabetes Type 2, and what will show up is a lot of my previous YouTube shows, 1 hour long, the previous, and on diabetes, a half hour long, hundreds of them, so you got to educate yourself, especially if you're on medication. You got to talk to your doctor and say, doctor, I want to get rid of my disease. You may say, that's not possible. Well, I am to disagree. And this is an excellent book here, Jason Fung, F-U-N-G, The Diabetes Code, Prevent Reverse Type 2 Diabetes Naturally. A great book. I encourage you to get it. You could probably buy it online. Here it says US, $20. Usually they sell used copies. If you go Amazon Books, Jason Fung, used copies, I think you could get them for a lot less money. And there's a number of books I recommend, but that's not true for every book. Okay, I know, but Jason Fung on page 77 will describe in detail, a great book to read all the way through, but he will explain in great detail that many years before the blood sugar ever goes up, remember when we do the HbA1c, the blood sugar is going to be elevated. It's 3 months worth of blood sugar, and it's a very good test. But before the HbA1c goes above 5.7, that the serum insulin is elevated. Mm-hmm. and it's doing dirty work inside your body. Yes, inside your body. That you may just grab your heart attack and die. Hey, I didn't have diabetes. Well, when you come to me, you get to have the blood sugar and the serum insulin. Another way to get the serum insulin is a C-peptide. That's a relative of insulin, and that takes more days to be metabolized. So a C-peptide test is another way to find out if your serum insulin has been elevated for a long period of time. You can go and get a glucose tolerance test, okay? For that, you can come in and ask for the HbA1c too, and just walk in and have it done, okay? But for some insulins, you get a fast for 8 hours. But the insulin will be elevated, have been elevated for many days if you have insulin resistance. Yes, so it's not just a test on what insulin is doing that day. It's doing what insulin has been doing for quite a bit of a time. And the insulin, because it's elevated, punches hole in your arteries, so you can have heart attacks and strokes and die. They learned all this in the Korean, the Vietnam War. They took those and the Americans who were normal weight soldiers, autopsied them, and they found the Americans were full of vascular disease, although of normal weight. Yeah, that's because their insulin was elevated, and they had advanced vascular disease. Some probably even died. So I would strongly suggest, if you don't tell me my blood sugar HbA1c is under 5.7, I can't be diabetic. No, I want to know what your insulin level is. And that is actually true for trophies: thin on the outside, fat on the inside. So because you're thin, I could be diabetic, so I want to know my serum insulin. Mine is extremely low, it's 3. So we know I'm not diabetic. I've shown all my blood tests to people on TV before. Today, 133 pounds. All my blood tests are normal, 89 years old. Am I bragging? No. I just, maybe one person doesn't mean a darn thing. But I used to weigh more. I keep a pair of pants at home that's a lot bigger than the ones I'm wearing now. But now, very consistent every day, my weight's 133, 134. It varies a little because of the water content. I've been drinking water that day, for example. So what Fong explains to you very carefully why you need this insulin test, and he explains so you understand it, okay? I always like people to have more information. In another good book I'd like you to have a look at is I show you right here, Fork in the Road, Fork in the Road, by Jen Unwin. There's information. He is David and Jen Unwin from Britain. They are now probably the two most famous people in teaching prevention of diabetes. They're all over the world, 22 nations. I hope to bring them to Fort Wayne sometime, both of them. And they both were diabetic. They were working for the English socialistic system. And Dr. Unwin had a patient his come in who he had called up and wondered why she wasn't taking her medicine. And she came in to see him, been his patient 8 years under the socialistic system. He came in to see him, he didn't recognize her. Mm-hmm. She had joined a group of British ladies, and they had lost some weight, and their diabetes went away. Mm-hmm. It's a true story. But instead of being closed-minded, he was open-minded. Because she came through, she said, Dr. Unwin, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. But instead of getting mad, he listened, ran some studies, and him and his, Dr. Unwin and his wife Jen, both overweight, both are diabetic. Yes, yes. So he learned and ran some studies, and then he, and the diabetics were costing the English socialistic system quite a bit of money. But now the number of diabetics was going down, and he was saving the English system a lot of money. Yes, because they didn't have to buy they were off the medications. They were looking better. They were, yes. And then he established an excellent website where you can gain information. He held conferences around the world, even formed an organization to which I belong, I think $100. But a lot of the information you can get from them for nothing. Yeah. But I hope to bring him here because to me he's the world's expert in stopping, preventing, reversing diabetes. Don't accept the disease. You heard it from me, you heard it from Dr. Fong, you heard it from Dr. Unwin. If you've had diabetes quite a while and you don't want to, this fantastic amount of information, here's a very good book I'm going to recommend to you, Simply Keto by Susan Ryan. Simply Keto by Susan Ryan. Yes. She also has a number of YouTube shows. You can go YouTube, Susan Ryan YouTube, and she looks at all aspects of it. And what I meant to say in this Fork in the Road book, some other people are contributors, and they, what I like about the book, everybody gives their opinion, okay? But they are looking at it is that 90% of the people who have diabetes and are sugar eaters, sugar addicts. Nothing to be ashamed of, no judgment-free zone, but they tell you how to get rid of it. So they attack it from a standpoint of addiction. One chapter says the problem and the remedy, and they even have recipes in there. And what I really like about this book is that at the end, page 142, 143, 144, 145, all 4 pages are full of websites that give you information on diabetes. You'll never get through it all. What do you care? But gather the information and make up your mind. You're going to get rid of this darn disease. You're going to get off all medications. You're going to look good and play pickleball with me. But, you know, as I was saying, if Susan Ryan's book, Simply Keto, you've heard about keto. Ketones are small molecules of fat made by the liver versus sugar, glucose, which is a bigger molecule used for energy. But the body loves ketones. The liver, the heart, the brain, they can all run on ketones. And in her book, for 70 pages, she explains about what ketone is all about. Remember, keto are small fat molecules. Okay, there's good fats, there's bad fats. She will distinguish the two. But then, and hers is 3 meals a day, although if you want to speed up and get rid of diabetes a lot quicker, go to 2 meals like I do. I mean, I didn't have any problem, but actually our body makes about 5 hormones in the morning. We don't need to eat breakfast. That's an invention by industry. Mm-hmm. Our body really does not need that. But, for example, I go play pickleball at 9:30. I don't eat any breakfast. Our body makes growth hormone, hormones, GLP-1s are different in the body and the bowel, and 5 different hormones that keep your blood sugar like this. I don't feel hungry. Then I eat around noon or so, and then another meal later on. And if you eat, say, the first meal, eat good fats, omega-3 fats, maybe some eggs, maybe some guacamole, and maybe some salmon, a great meal. And the second meal, it doesn't even matter what you eat. You're going to lose weight, get rid of your diabetes. Yeah. But you may get so used to eating real good food. And out of her book, Simply Keto, she will have a picture of the recipe. I mean, just beautiful foods, and breakfast, lunch, and dinner. She even counts the calories, how much protein, how many calories in each meal, and net carbs, and there's some soups in there, and here's prosciutto wrapped asparagus, for example, and she has a picture. Yeah, but remember, you can get recipes also out of Fork in the Road book, but you eat this way of delicious food, fully explained by Susan Ryan. YouTube shows on the psychology of it all. Eat 3 meals if you like, but if you feel like, eat 2, because then you'd be fasting, time-regulated eating, 16-8. So I suggest people eat 60 meals, and don't eat 16 hours, and then eat 8 hours. Simple as can be. Dr. Fong will write about fasting a whole day, 2 days, 3 days a week. Don't bother with that 16-8. I've done it. I've experienced with it. I never get essentially not hungry anymore. My appetite is way down, and so I like the Susan Ryan book. She even tells you how much fat, protein, net carbs that are on here. This really is a quick way to get rid of diabetes. And if you're just overweight, because she lost 120 pounds, and her husband lost a bunch of weight too. The pictures of them, and you can look at the pictures, and you can see that it's working in her picture. She looks beautiful, but she used to weigh a lot, 130 pounds, 120 pounds more. And I love this book, and you learn a lot about ketones. For example, people who have cancer, for example, to eat the ketogenic way of eating, which would be how they can do it here. They're going to live a lot longer because cancer's a sugar feeder, viruses, sugar feeders. You're much less likely to get a cold or the flu if you eating this way. But I would like for you to gather some information. And now at the Allen County Library, where I'm speaking today, which to me is heaven, it's heaven. I now do podcasting, but also TV shows, radio shows. But I'm also starting a lecture series every first Monday of the month, except holidays, move over one day. And my next one, I think, is July 7th, I believe. The 6 to 8 p.m., my lecture is only 20 minutes, but I invite people to come in, stand up and tell me their story, ask questions, challenge me. And I think it's very important. I like to make these bigger. So that's in person. If you feel like, I want to talk with Dr. Kachmann in person sometime, well, I'll arrange to meet you wherever you want to. At the library, they have all kind of seats available. And I will counsel you, and my charge is zero. My motivation is preventing, stopping, and reversing diabetes. Dr. Unwin has now shown, which is kind of interesting, that the people who dialyze the kidneys will tell you, as your glomerular filtration rate goes down over the years, that'll never go back up. and once you're 25 or so, you need to be in dialysis. The government even has set up a program, once you're on dialysis, everything is free. But if you're free, you're less likely to be motivated to get rid of the disease. Where Dr. Kachmann found that even if you've had diabetes 20, 30 years, and that's because there's fat in the pancreas, some fat in the liver, you get rid of that through proper eating, exercise. Once the fat gets out of the pancreas wakes up and insulin gets secreted again. Yes. And he found that kidney disease, the GFR, can be partially reversed, 20 points or so. He has proven it. So don't give up. And remember, if you're thin, you can still be diabetic. You need the right test, need the insulin test. A C-peptide's a good one too. Another good one is triglycerides / HDL ratio less than 2. There's some other tests that you can do. The calcium score is controversial. Don't get hung up on it. Get hung up on getting rid of get the insulin out of your body. That's the master hormone. That's the one that causes most of this arteriosclerosis. Diabetes is a huge scam. The medical schools, the hospitals, new hospital coming in, they will teach you how to treat it, but they will not teach you how to prevent it. That's my point. And people can get a little bit better, lose a little bit of weight, but they still get diabetes. See, they'll say, well, you have pre-diabetes if your HbA1c is 5.7 to 6.5 or something, and you have diabetes when it's higher than that. When you're pre-diabetes, your insulin level is up, and changes are already occurring in your body. There is no such thing as pre-diabetes. Yes, when your insulin level is elevated, you're diabetic. But like I said, we can quickly reverse it by proper lifestyle. If you're looking at a food pyramid, eating good fats, say eating a diet of 60, 70% good fats, omega-3 fats. Fat is not your enemy. Sugar is your enemy. We have sugar addiction. And Dr. Unwin's book and Jen Unwin's book, Fork in the Road, will teach you how to get rid of the addiction. And you need to gather information so that you become motivated to do that. The hospitals aren't going to do that. Most doctors aren't going to do that. Why not? I do not know, but you can guess. Our president, our governor, they're not promoting getting rid of the diabetes. I went to the Public Health Service, state of Indiana, the first time our president ran to, and I had 20 books on the table where I wanted to teach the public health, Jeremy Adams, about diabetes, because I had attended a conference where they had it all wrong, and the lady gave them the lecture, former employer of Eli Lilly, which makes the insulin. Okay, now other companies make the insulin too, but insulin takes the sugar in the cells. Our blood system, incidentally, has 1 teaspoonful of sugar in it, not really that much. We take the insulin and it shows in the cell. Now the cell is fat. So people who take insulin shots invariably are overweight, which they are not happy about, although this is a judgment-free zone. Not all overweight people have diabetes, but most of them do. And for that reason, that's an obvious one. I attended a German festival recently. You know, I'm German, but I went to the Rib Fest too. I noticed 80% of the people look very unhealthy. So that didn't even count the ones that might have looked healthy and didn't have the right test were diabetic anyway. I'm not being critical, but we need to change. So what I'm saying is, let's hit the road. Let's get this book, the Diabetes Code, simply keto, read Fork in the Road. Remember, I've declared war on diabetes. We're going to win this war. We're going to do it. But you, the people, will need to join me. Our leaders aren't doing it. Our hospitals aren't doing it. But you can look at all my YouTube shows. We're doing it. Join us. Join me in this war on diabetes. See you on the pickleball court or TED Dance with me. I do this show because I love you. Thanks for watching it. We do this here every 2 weeks. I'll see you soon. But if you use these books and videos, you're going to have a lot of information available to you. And I think the more information we have, the more likely we are to step up to bat. No doubt about it. Maybe I'll see you at one of my 6 to 8 o'clock first Monday lectures here at the library. Soon we'll probably video those too. But we're on a lot of roads. We're on public access TV. But thanks for watching. Bye-bye.